Well, then, in terms of just a couple more questions for you, PJ, because I know your time is limited. So, how do you think Greg Popovich will coach this kid? Like, what's his plan? Knowing him and knowing the organization and knowing what he's done with top talent.
Find out what Victor's like. Like, what is he ready for? What is he not ready for? How many minutes is he going to be able to play? Is he going to be a focal point of the offense, or is he going to be, one or two or three options? For sure, he's going to take advantage of the shot blocking. I mean, that's one of the many skills he has that are just way above average. I mean, I've always felt can't really teach shot blocking. You obviously need the skills to begin with, and he's got that, in spades. I mean, you can't be longer, more athletic, have better time than Victor has, but he's a really gifted shot blocker. He sees the floor. He sees it from the weak side. I mean, that skill alone is going to allow him to be a major contributor this year. Before you even start talking about, he's a way above average shooter. He's got a really good stroke. He needs to improve his shot selection. There's no question. He takes off balance shots. He takes tough shots for the Mets. I mean, he led the league in scoring and rebounding and blocked shots. So he had to kind of do everything for that team. He won't have to do everything for the Spurs. He's going to be with some other very talented young players also. So, but I think it's going to be a learning curve for Pop and the team too, because they're not sure what he's going to be like. How much can we put on his plate? Is he just going to thrive the way Duncan did when he came in? Again, Timmy, 4 years at Wake Forest,
right,
the best player in college basketball. Victor has an edge because he's played for 3 years in a professional league. French league outside the United States is probably one of the top three. So he's been playing against men. He's been playing against professionals for a while. He's not coming in like a 19-year-old college kid in the States would be coming in. I wouldn't quite equate it to the 4 years that Timmy was older and the schedule that he had played in the ACC and been the best player in college basketball and getting a chance to play with David Robinson and some of the guys that were already there. That was a tremendous advantage. But Victor's not coming in. Don't think he's like a 19-year-old American kid who, hasn't played against men in the last 3 years, hasn't been in a professional league. So he's bringing some things to the table that your average 19-year-old is not going to. So, and I think that'll be the learning curve for Pop. Like, how much, do we want him to shoot a bunch of threes? Are we going to post him up at all? Are we going to let him, when he gets a rebound, bring the ball up the court? Because he did that for the Mets, and he did it well. I mean, he got a rebound, and he dribbles the ball up the court, and he's making bounce passes or throwing the ball ahead to the wing. So all of that, I think, will be learned. I think they don't know. And again, watching him play for the Mets is not going to be the same as what it's going to be like in San Antonio. He'll be a totally different player mid-season, late season than he is in October and November. They'll still be learning in October and November what he can do. He'll be learning, what he can do. How many minutes can they play him? All those things will just be, the normal rookie learning curve that Pop has with any of them. But I think that this guy, the expectations that they will be pushing a little bit. The strength thing is going to take time. There's no question. I mean, I was lucky enough to coach Kevin Durant when he was a rookie in Seattle in 07, 08, and when you look at him the fir's time, you go, my God, he's so thin. How's he going to be able to play? Well, guess what? He's obviously thriving, and he had a frame that just never put it on. I would, Victor is going to be significantly stronger and will put weight on, in the next couple of years. He's a young guy, but that strength is going to be a problem. And in a strange way, when you're 7'5", like the angles, it's hard to get the leverage. And, can you imagine smaller guys trying to box them out where they're going to be hitting them and stuff? So, Victor knows that already. He knows his body, but clearly getting him stronger and getting him used to the kind of guys, the strong physical players that he is going to play against. The good news is he doesn't have to play center. Zach Collins will play center, or Bassi. They have other good young bigs, 6'10", 6'11", more physical than him. They're smaller, but I mean, is he going to be down inside sometimes? Yes, but he can go away from the basket. He can switch on a pick and roll. He can trap. I mean, he can do some things that you just don't think somebody 7'5" can do. This isn't a big plotting big that, when they get him out away from the basket, we're going to, it's going to be a nightmare. No, it's not going to be. He's just a spectacular athlete. And again, that It's going to take time to learn NBA defense and learn to play with his teammates and all the different things that San Antonio will do defensively. But when you're starting where he's starting with these unbelievable gifts that he has, it's going to really be fun to watch.
Me too. I'm with you. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.